Hello, hello. This is Kathy Peck in Wichita Falls, Texas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I am going to share another Countdown to Christmas card project with you using the Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. Actually, the whole suite is really nice, and let me show this to you. Here we go. It's actually called the Tidings of Tidings of Christmas Suite. The stamp set is Tidings, where's it at? Tidings and Trimmings, and the dies are Christmas Trimmings. That's a mouthful. So it's on page 88 and 89 of the annual catalog. This is not in the holiday catalog. This is in the annual catalog. When I first saw this, I immediately loved it. I thought this is one gorgeous set. And the suite comes with stamps, dies, a really beautiful ribbon that I didn't use in this particular project, and and the paper. Oh my gosh, the paper. Let me talk to you about the paper. Well, first let me show you the card, and then I'll show you the paper. This is the card today. This is a floating strip card. You can see the acetate back there, and the stars this is all from the dies. And inside I just stamped the sentiment, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a happy new year, and added a little strip of DSP, and there's plenty of room to write a message here. But I love this. This is the evening evergreen card base, but we're going to make one with cherry cobbler. We're going to do reverse. So let's look at this. Oh, and let me show you this paper right here. I'll show you that first. That is not in the paper pack. That is separate. This is in the mini catalog. This is the gold and rose metallic specialty paper. It is gorgeous. It's just beautiful. Look at that. This looks like something. It just reminds me of some fancy wallpaper I've seen in posh hotels somewhere or restaurants. It's just gorgeous. It's really pretty. It's a rose color, and then I used the gold for my card. Isn't that fabulous? All right, let's look at this DSP. This paper comes in a 6x6 pack, and it's just beautiful. I think I have I do have a sheet like with everything laid out on it, but I'll just show you this right now. Probably my favorite piece right here. I love that. I love the colors. It uses the Misty Moonlight, Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, Sahara Sand. Look at that. This one. These images are reminiscent of a current stamp set. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but I love this. I love these like soft colors for the holidays. Let's see if I can get all these out. Did I show you this side? Oh, look at that. Here's trees and then stripes. And there's one more with stripes somewhere in here. Oh, I got off to a late start this morning. But here I am getting this done. Here's green stripes and red images. So you see, it's just beautiful paper all around. I think I got them all. There's one missing. I may have used it all up. Yep, I think I did. Yeah, there's one that's mostly soft succulent, and I've used all that up. So what do you need to make this particular card? Well, you need these strips, the foam adhesive strips, the Tidings of Christmas, or Christmas Tidings dies. Here they are. Look at that. That's gorgeous. The stamp set, if you want to put a little image and a little sentiment inside, or you can use any sentiment that you have in your collection. Here's the stamps. I love the little stockings. Those were the first cards I made, Christmas cards with stockings. You'll need some shimmery crystal effects and to make this right here. I added it on here, and it makes a texture. Now this is a process. This takes a few minutes, so I'll show you how to do that. And you have to let it dry for a bit. Random strips of the DSP cut no larger than a half and no smaller than a quarter. And then 2 strips of the metallic paper as well. So here we go. Lay all these out over here. Yeah, I've got everything I need. A blender pen or a Stampin' Up marker, doesn't matter. Here's my acetate sheet, and it is cut to, I think, 3 1/2. And don't worry if it's got something on it, because you're going to cover it up. It's cut to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, because that's the size I wanted on here. All right, die cut solid star. This one's going to be a cherry cobbler base with a evening evergreen star. Here's our card base. I'll do the inside later. We'll just do the card base now. Well, it's almost done. And then here's the die cut of the sprig, and I'll show you how I did that, and then we'll get on with making the card. So I die cut the sprig, and I left it in the little piece of paper to that surrounded it. And then what I did is first I just colored all the little berries with this red Stampin' Blends, and it goes pretty quickly. The ink just absorbs in there. And after that, I'm going to take the shimmery crystal effects, and I'm going to just put a blob on each one. And the reason I left it in this shape so that if I overran, once I pulled it out, it just stayed in a perfect little circle. And this does take a little bit to dry. So that's why I do it first. And what I did yesterday is I just put them together and let them dry for a couple of hours. If anybody knows how to work this stuff really well, just let me know. But it does dry nicely. Some has little bits of glitter in it. It's kind of hit and miss whether you get glitter or not. And you just kind of just go over these little circles. And it's going to, even though it comes out in a blob, it does smooth itself out. And if you get it somewhere you don't want it, you just take your pokey tool and move it. That's what I had to do yesterday. So, oops. Mine came attached to a piece of foam, so like I got a little here. I just clean it off. And where was the other spot? Right here. You let it set for a few seconds, and then you want to take it out of here. However it'll go. If it goes that way, if it wants to go that way, that's the way it will get it out. And once I got it out, released it from the paper, and I just set it aside and let it dry. And this is what dries nice and clear. So it went from this, which is kind of, I don't know if you can see that very well, it's kind of cloudy, to this. And it just adds a little dimension without having to add embellishments. So that's nice. So there's the one we'll be using today. Okay. You do need some glue. I've got my Tombow here. I just have to release it from its little stand. Make sure it's coming out, because I always have that. I love Tombow, but it doesn't always come out. So, see if this one's going to come out for me. Oh, let me go get another one. Actually, I need to keep a little pin here, and then I poke it down there and it comes out nicely. I'm back. I just grabbed the pin, and this is what happens. just gets a little plug up in there, and because I tend to open them up and just leave them laying around, and well, that's the hazards of that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of, oh, this has got something stuck to it. Liquid glue or hot glue. I'm going to take a little piece of Stampin' Seal and stick it on here. And let's see. And then I'd like to just put some skin seals on here so it doesn't, it's just tacky and not super sticky. And line this up on here. I'm going to find the middle. I know I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Right about that's going to be my middle. That should be right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe not. Let me double check this. Is it 4 3/4? Yes. So this is 1, 2. Yes, it should be the middle of this one. Make a little mark there. I was off by 1. Make a little mark. Because what I do is I'm going to start in the center with my strips. So you can lay your strips out ahead of time, or you can just randomly pick one and go. I started with, I'm going to start with red again. And these are all different sizes. So I think I want one that's 1/4 inch though, so it fits nicely in that little spot. And maybe I'll start with green. This is the green that I used up. The Evening Evergreen. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the glue down actually on the acetate. Because the other day when I made my first one, I put the glue on the paper and I glued a little too much, and then next thing I know it was stuck to my grid paper. That was no fun. All right. And you just put that down. Now it's going to wiggle woggle a little bit, and if it comes out, you can easily clean it up. And on your grid paper, you know, you have little dots, and I like to put 2 dots between each row. And then just keep going and just build from there. Add one here, and I go top to bottom for each one. So let's do some. Vary your sizes, whatever you want to do. Oh, this one will look nice here. And just put like 2 little dots between. I really like this whole suite, and I don't give it enough attention, so I need to really get back on it and start making more cards with this. Because it's just gorgeous, especially the paper. The paper is just probably one of my favorites for the holidays. That and that Wonder and Whimsy. Those are some non-traditional colors for Christmas. Or Whimsy and Wonder, that's what it is. Let's have a little red in here now. I seem to have a lot of red today. Here we go. And you just put these on here how you like. There's been lots done. Some folks will make a whole, like take a square of the acetate and cover it with paper and then die cut it. Like a circle or a square, and then add a little embellishment, a little decoration. But I wanted to do a rectangle. Make a nice Christmas card. It's time for, well, maybe not yet. Let's see about some brownish colors. I know there's one here. Ah, that one right there. This is actually Sahara sand. And there you go. And if at the end you may have a little overlap, and you just set it aside, let it dry, and then you can trim it off. I think, yeah, this is good right here. Yeah, it's just, and it, you know, this is also a nice way to use up excess strips of paper. You could, the first card I made using this technique was all solids, reds and yellows, and just gorgeous solids. Okay, I think here it's time for the metallics. Yes, it'd be nice if they had like 12 by 12 sheets of this metallic paper. Can you imagine that for a scrapbook page? That'd be pretty fancy. All right, here we go. So it's a nice quiet Sunday today. I was up a little late. I'm usually up by 5, but today I slept until after 6, so that kind of threw off my whole schedule. Let's see. I think we'll add some. That's every day I'm up early. I'm just an early bird. I seem to function better early in the morning than I do in the afternoon. Could be an age thing. I don't know, because my 20-year-old seems to function better in the night than she does in the day. All right. Some stripes up here. I put that big one up there. I'm not going to have any room for anything else, so we will put some. Let's see. I think we'll do, well, I guess we can put this, and then that'll just be it. I may end up trimming off a little bit of the acetate at the top because it didn't work out, but this one's going to be really small at the bottom. And I want this one. Or do I want that one? No, I want this one. There we go. And, you know, you can push these in a little tighter if you want them to be closer together. It's up to you. You can vary. And I'm going to let that dry for a minute. It's up to you. All right, while that's drying, I'm going to poke these out. This is so pretty. I do use glue to put this down, and I forgot my sponge. I'll have to go grab a little sponge. I like to sponge the glue on. I like to take a sponge and I put it on a little the silicone sheet, and I dip my sponge in it, and then I flip this over, and on the back side I sponge on the glue and then put it on the card. For the sprigs, I just used a glue dot, and they stayed on nicely, and the ribbon or the twine as well. And that's from the essential twines pack. It's 5 bundles of twine in essential colors, you know, your basic colors. They go with everything: white, black, crumb cake color, natural, and I think Sahara sand maybe. But it's a nice little pack. That's your, you know, your general everyday baker's twine that you can use for cards. Here we go. This is a little time consuming, but I should have gotten this ready ahead of time, but I didn't. But that's okay. I find it's easier if you push it out towards the way where the blade was, the cutting blade on the die. Oh, 2 more. Here we go. And this, there we go, on top of here, once I get the glue on. And I guess there's a, oh, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna wing it today and just dab a little glue on these little spots, in the wide spots. But usually what I would do is just sponge glue everywhere, and it would stick down nicely. But not today. We're just gonna dibble dabble a little bit here and there. That happens. There we go. And you just line that up on there, and poof, there you go. It's done. I always have trouble getting these perfectly centered, but that's the whole point of being handmade, right? It's not always perfect. All right, then you use just one glue dot. Pick your top point. I think I like it that way. And stick it on there. Probably shouldn't have stuck my finger on there, and I did trim this down a bit. I found it. I stuck it on here where I wanted it, then I trimmed off the excess. Just trim it level with the star. I may add another glue dot for the other two. Just put it right on top. Yeah. And then these 2 little sprigs added to it, and you'll cover it up with the twine. And my twine is not here. All right, well, let me go grab that in a minute, but first we'll get this done. So you see, I stuck this sheet down, right? So it's stuck down pretty good. So what you want to do is lift it up and just twist. Comes off nice and easy. All right, now we're going to trim. All you need to do is just keep your scissors against the acetate sheet to cut a straight line when you're doing this. And it usually works really well. If it doesn't, you can just rub your scissors against it at the ends, and it helps like squish down that extra piece. I'm gonna have to trim this off with my paper trimmer, but I could just go like that if it's like poking up a little. I might be able to trim that off with my scissors. Let's give it a shot. I probably should have started in the middle and then on each end to make sure it's covered, but there's never a right way or a wrong way. It's however you want to do it. Good. That's perfect. All right. We'll let that sit, and then I'll add the ribbon in a second. But show you how I'm going to attach it to the card. You're going to use several strips of this. What is this called again? Oh, well, it's these adhesive strips. I think that's what they are. They're like dimensionals, but I find they're a little taller than the dimensional. They feel a little more dense than the dimensional. And I put on every other row. And you just want to put it behind, the paper, so it can't be seen. So I think it takes five or six maybe 6. Put it on here. And it just holds it up nicely. You don't want to use, you know, a whole foam sheet because that would cover up the acetate and you wouldn't see through to the bottom, which is the whole point. Here we go. One more on that bottom strip. I think that should be long enough. Yeah, so you need 6. And you could do with less. I like 6 on here. You peel these off and center it on your card front, and then I did use glue dots to secure the star. Okay, all those off. Yep. All right, so here we go. Just going to gently put that there. And I have a little extra excess glue right there, so let's see if we can get some of that up. If not, we will just have to embellish. We may move the star. All right, let me go get my ribbon and we'll finish up. This is what happens when your whole house is essentially your craft room. Because that's how it is here. I have we have a formal dining room that we never use, so that's my crafting table. And this is the office, and in the office it's a really sturdy table, so I was filming on a card table in the living room, and that just wasn't working very well. So once we stopped the virtual online school, I could have my office back. Oops, because my youngest, well, that's not working, so we'll try again. My youngest daughter was using the office for school. Now she's back in the classroom, so ooh, that went crazy. So I found that this table is more sturdy for recording, so I have a webcam, and it's on a clip, so it hangs above me. And then I have 2 OT lights that I use for my lighting, and that works out really well, because then I also use these OT lights for class. So when I have folks come over for class, I'll just move the OT lights to the tables where we're crafting, and they'll have a little bit better view of what they're doing. So here we go. Just tie this ribbon. This one's not coming out as nicely as that other one, but it is what it is. Keep fiddling with it. Let's try again one more time. So, and I do have a station set up with a box where I take my photos, and that's in our living room. We have a really odd shaped, see, these are just coming out too big, odd shaped large living room. So behind the couch, which is where my husband set up his temporary office when he had to work from home. So I set up a table with my photo box. It's a photo diox box that I got from Amazon. It's really nice, and I take my pictures in that all the time. So we're kind of spread out all over the house, but you know what? It's my house, and I just make it cozy. My dream home would be to have like a whole basement to myself, where it could be my craft room, and I'd even put a bed down there so I could just sleep and craft all the time. I don't know if my husband would like that, but maybe he would, because he does say that I snore. All right, that's cut off. I'm going to stick this on here. I left the little legs a little long so they could mix with the greenery. There we go. And I use maybe 5 or 6 glue dots to get this on here. I apologize for the mess here. Let's see here. 1 at the tip of each star, for sure. These glue dots are funny. Sometimes they stick to this side and sometimes they stick to the piece that's loose. I really like it better when they stick to the roll. I wonder if I can make it stick to the roll, but no, I guess it depends on how it's wound up. I don't know. I do prefer these type of glue dots. They're thicker than some that you can get. Oh, I'm having trouble today. Sometimes they pop right up and lay right down nicely. I like that one. There we go. All right. I'm going to turn this around. How did you get out of whack? Here we go. And for this one, I think since we have a little smidge of glue here, we're going to just kind of, oh no, I'm going to keep it in the center. I can come up with something to cover that up. There we go. Lower it just a bit. How's that to take away the focus on it? There. So on the inside, I'll stamp the sentiment with Evening Evergreen. So everything's opposite. Red ink on the inside of the Evening Evergreen base and Evening Evergreen on the inside of the red base. And I'll add a strip of DSP. Oops, I almost stamped that upside down. Here we go. That came out nice. I'm having some trouble with my Cherry Cobbler ink pad. I may end up getting a new one because it's just, I think I over inked it. All right, I like that. So I will lay that down here and give it a little trim. And straighten it up. A little dibble of glue right here. It's always nice to add a little bit of the DSP on the inside of your card. I mean, some people go all out and put all kinds of stuff on the inside, but I like to keep it simple. There, that is it. Oops, it stuck to my paper. Give it a twist. All right, here we go. So these are my two cards using the Tidings of Christmas Suite. One is Cherry Cobbler base. The other is Evening Evergreen. There you go. Beautiful stars. And you have to try out that rose and gold metallic paper. That is very special. I'm hoping that it'll be around for a long, long time. All right. That's it. I'm Kathy Peck coming to you from Wichita Falls, Texas. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to my blog, tnstamps.blogspot.com. There's a box above my picture on the blog. Links to the blog will be in this post as well as to my blog. So this is my third installment of my countdown to Christmas. So enjoy. Bye.